We are live. Hello, guys. Hello, everyone in the Visibility Vortex group. Again, like today is a double whammy of me showing up in the group, but today I'm even more excited. Well, in the afternoon, I'm even more excited because I did a little Thrive Thursday around silent counseling and emotional mastery. And what a great way of bringing Lauren, who is not only a qualified silent counseling practitioner, she has also implemented into her business as well as her life. And I think it would be so great for you guys to hear her story, hear her journey, how silent counseling is being serving her, what an amazing transformation she's gone through and is still going through. And yeah, so welcome, Lauren. Thank you so much for jumping on and having a chat with me. I would love for you to just tell us, tell the viewers what it is that you do, business wise, personally wise. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Well, I'm Ren, and I have a business, a lot of businesses. The one that I use the silent counseling for the most is in my business, Financial Freedom and Joy. And that's where I really like the silent counseling because it brings out the joy. And I knew that that was important because I train business owners how to create more money or more passive income. And yet the money doesn't solve everything. So that's where we focus on the emotions and the joy. So then you have time, money, and freedom.
Love it, love it, love it. And because we've been working one-on-one for over at least 7 months now, right? But we did the silent counseling training probably back in either February or March of this year. And I'm curious for you to share what was it that actually caught your interest about silent counseling, and why did you decide to, come to the training? Yeah, we'll be curious to hear.
Yeah, well, I've done different aspects of like tapping and always looking for ways to feel better. And had done a little bit of breath work. And then it was actually a friend of mine who had me go in person to energy clearing sessions. And I actually had those years before, like with some muscle testing, things like that. And so I had literally, before I heard about you, it was like a week and a half before I had just done an energy session called Best. And I really like it. It's breath work, though. When I went there, like the facilitator actually touches you, like around your feet and the back of your head. And so I was like, well, this is curious, though there's a lot to it. And I was like, and I just kind of didn't want to touch people. And so then that's where it was so interesting. So and like those sessions are amazing. And it's like any kind of energy work I've found is pretty effective. So it's about finding the modality that you like and resonate with. And so that's where it was, a week and a half after I had this great session, and I had had a few of them, and I was kind of like, do I want to look into this? And then I was actually connected to somebody who had just gone through your silent counseling training a couple days before, like that weekend. So she was like fresh off of, this is amazing. And so I connected with her. And when I just heard them say, hey, it's breath work, they shifted energy clear, and it was like done remotely, I was like, oh my gosh. So that's exactly what prompted you. It was like everything was primed. I was already in the realm. And then when I heard about this, I was like, yes, that's what I want to look into. And I also have to say, I loved the fact that I could go through the certification in 2 days. And so that even though it's a long 2 days, for me, it was a much better time investment than other ones that I had looked at, which was like Saturday classes for 6 weeks or something like that. So those are how I got into silent counseling, and I'm so grateful.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. So the process of training takes 2 days, but obviously, like into finding case studies, etc. That's a longer journey. But I love the fact that you highlighted, the ability to work remotely with anyone. As long as everything is energy. So as long as you've got a laptop and phone, you can honestly set up a business like tomorrow, right? Like after you qualify. Also, the fact that you don't need to touch anyone. And I think it's such an important point to highlight. Not everybody is comfortable, especially, after those 2 years that we've all gone through. Not everybody's comfortable being, in close proximity to people, being touched. And not everybody likes to and needs to speak about their trauma, which I know for you was also a really big point when we had that very, very first session. It's like, this is great that I actually don't need to talk about the issue. I can just let it go with so much ease. So I'm curious to hear um, your biggest shifts personally first, and then secondly in your business. Like, what have you noticed yourself changing, and especially your clients as well?
The first time, so I had gone and wanted, hey, okay, what is this silent counseling? So I wanted one for myself. And so this is where I didn't know, I just went in with open, and I like energy work, and I know that the work is very effective and permanent. And that's where so I really like that. So then putting that into silent counseling, the first thing we touched on, which I love, is sometimes not the issue, it's the underlying issue, right? And so we had touched on anxiety, and that was something that I had that was just a part of me. Like, it was just so normal. I had lived in this with anxiety for ever. Like, it was just something you dealt with. And it was interesting. We had shifted that, and it was like a few days later that I was like, oh my gosh, it's gone. Like, it's just it was just so, and it was just nice and delicate. Like, it wasn't this huge earth shattering kind of thing. It was just simple, easy, effective, and that anxiety hasn't come back. So it's been amazing. And then just pulling the next layer. So first we did anxiety. Number 2 was frustration. And it was that's what really made me believe more in it, that it's like you can target that uncomfortable emotion rather than just go for an issue. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not reverting to frustration. And then the things that would come up, especially family things that would normally make me like, I'm like, oh, it just kind of just comes through me and goes. So I'm just so grateful for that. And then it's just been more, I liked it. So I'm like, okay, we're a human. We have lots of layers, and I'm going to keep peeling those layers down and around. We've done mother issues. That was phenomenal. Masculine energy issues, things like that. We put in a few little traumas here and there, though generally I just know, I'm like, hey, whatever I want solved, I'll put into the session in the container, and just know that the process works. And that's what's been such a blessing.
Beautiful. Somebody, a Facebook user. So whoever, by the way, we can see 2 people are watching us. If you are joining through the Facebook group, there is a link just underneath, or I think above the video, where it says give StreamYard permission for us to see your, it's actually at the bottom, the very bottom of the text, for us to see your name, because we don't know who is actually commenting. Okay. But yeah, I mean, with the anxiety, I remember, how crippling it was for you. And this is something that I know so many people go through, where it is a part of your identity, and all of a sudden when it's gone, and it goes so fast, you go, oh, it's gone. Like, what do I do without it now? And we go into another layer. Then it was frustration, there was something else, and we just the beauty of it is that you clear it fast. You don't need to spend months, years talking about an issue. As long as you're ready to shift it and open to this, it just goes through it, and the results are absolutely fantastic. So tell us, Lauren, about the business side of things, like how actually adding silent counseling to your toolbox impacted your business and your clients.
So what I wanted to do initially is, I was like, okay, I love silent counseling. I was like, okay, it can be in my toolbox. And I guess if I want to be a one-on-one, practitioner, I love that it gives me a career option. Like, I could do it any place at anything. Though for me, since I train business owners, and I was like, where do I put this in? Especially because a lot of people come to me, they want money. And I'm like, okay, and we know we want joy, so there's things we need to do to get there. And so this is where I just kind of threw them into it. And so I also wanted, what was awesome is to be able to do it in a group setting. And so that was my own personal mission. Okay, I'm like, yeah, it works really great one-on-one. Now, how do we put that into the groups? And I found it so effective, and my students just eating it up. And so we did, the first one we did was around I am enough. and also that your work is enough. So that tends to be a core
Mm.
limiting belief for people. And the results were amazing, and their feedback. And I'm like, okay, and usually we do more rounds of it. And the group was like, yes, let's do more rounds. So we're watching plays of me facilitating it, and then I can do the breathing with them, and we're all breathing together, and it's just awesome. So that's where I've used it in my business. To then, after we did the I'm not enough, we went into money issues, which a lot of people have. So we started working on those. And then visibility, which is a big one that you inspire me with, and realizing that's very common for a lot of people is, one, I'm enough. And then it's safe to actually put myself and my work out there. So those are ways that I've then tied it into my group classes to just make that a part of the curriculum for everyone. And then as well as when I do one-on-ones, or I have a student who's like, having some, a bigger issue on it, then we just break out the Silent Counselling and we can do one-on-one sessions and move that energy.
Amazing, amazing. And I know that I think one of your students, one or two of your students actually that you first shared silent counseling with was like, I love it so much. I actually want to learn it myself. And she ended up coming to a training. And I think I'm actually trying to look through the comments. So we've got Preeti watching, we've got Leslie. So Preeti's coming to the actually December training. Leslie's here. So Leslie was the one who was doing the training. And money wise, like money, I think, I want to talk to you about money very quickly as well, because this is something that you've recently experienced a really big breakthrough by us working one-on-one together and actually utilizing the power of silent counseling. And funnily enough, we weren't working around money, right? Like we were focusing on the issue, and then literally within a few days you were like, holy shit, payments coming through one after another after another.
That was very a blessing. Oh my gosh. So thank you for those works. And I think, so part of my challenge around money is I sold my first company, which was a petting zoo, 8 years ago. And I did a lot of personal growth because there was a lot of emotions and resentments over the sale of the business 8 years ago. Well, then they've needed to pay me for that sale, and it's been dragging on, little payments and payments. And now it's been years since I had seen anything, and they still had a balance. And you definitely know I was still in resentment a lot over that. And I was like, okay, so it's about the money, though the resentment was driving me nuts. Like, everything. And there's triggers everywhere. And that's just where it's not fun to live like that. And so I was finally at the point, okay, I want to just get rid of this resentment around the business. And so we targeted that. And then it was like I saw this big shift afterwards, and I felt better. I actually kind of forgot about the business. This was in October. And then it was like November 1, just out of nowhere, sparked me to reach out after years and say, hey, can we get that balance taken care of? So that inspired action, it wasn't coming from resentment. And then we did one more clearing about other things and resentments. And then all of a sudden, like hours after we did that session, I got this message saying, hey, send me your PayPal. I want to pay you off. Like, oh my gosh.
That was amazing. I love when you
And then other people who owed me money, like all this money that had been owed to me, it was like as soon as I let that, kind of surrendered and let that frustration and resentment around those money things go, then it opened the way to receiving. So that was just like last week, a week and a half ago. That was awesome.
I love it. I love it. And I think this is actually what I covered in the training today, a little bit about money, because it's like we are always in a receptive state, always, always, always. But it's the quality of the feelings and emotions that we'll be holding on within our body around money, about receiving. So, in your case, you shared it was frustration, which was slowing the receptivity coming into you. The money was already there, but because there was that energy that you were holding on in the body unconsciously, and then you realize like, holy shit, I'm sick and tired of that frustration. As soon as we released it, you made space for the energy of money to come in. And that is what's beautiful about this work. If you're looking to become more visible, is okay, how do you feel about visibility right now? Are you scared? Are you not comfortable? Are you not confident? Okay, we need to let go of these emotions so we can make space for the courage, for the conviction, for the confidence to to be present in your body so that it just becomes your second nature. And I just love seeing your, your regular Facebook lives as well. I know you didn't have issue with that, but it's just seeing completely different energy in how you show up in your business, and how that's impacted your ability to grow your Facebook groups, and everything else is just so, so wonderful. So my last question for you is, why do you believe it is a must add tool, a must have tool, personally as well as business wise, for anyone to work around their emotional mastery?
I think that the one of the other things that really attracted me to it is that although, you can have sessions with another person, and I love my sessions with you can also do it on your own. And that was what gave the power in your own hands, which I loved. That it's not like that's where doing the other work, somebody was, facilitating me or pushing on the back of my head or muscle testing for me. So like those, so it left the healing aspect in someone else's hands. So now it's
Mm.
like, you're beautiful that you facilitate and guide me through it, though I'm doing the work. I'm doing the breath and I do the spots, and then sometimes I have homework, go do some more breathing on that. And so that's what makes it so nice, that there's nothing magical per se about it. You're using your body, and where the energy's stored, you're breathing, and that's what really allows it to come through. And this is where, for yourself personally, it's a must have, because it's just like, this is how our body works. So why wouldn't we want to know? We need shampoo or conditioner in my case, to untangle my hair, which is a useful tool. Well, silent counseling is a very useful tool for your emotions. And if you don't have these tools, your emotions are going to be all trapped and skewing you and affecting your results.
Oh, I love that. You just summed it up so beautifully. Yeah, it's like the same way, we need conditioner and shampoo for our hair. We need a tool to gain that mastery, and to know how to deal with your emotions, so that your emotions don't end up consuming you, and you are empowered, you are in charge of your own life, your own decisions, and so much more. Thank you, gosh, thank you so much for sharing your journey. I did see a comment, I think that must have been from Leslie, is that also by them doing it themselves and we aren't doing it for them, it empowers our clients 100%. Like most of the modalities out there, is the practitioner doing all the work, which makes a lot of people actually tired. A lot of healers, coaches can come away from the session absolutely exhausted, and this is different. It's the client doing all the work. You're just there to hold the space. You're just there to hold the energy. And even if you're using it for yourself, it is such a great self-empowerment tool. And when you know how to empower yourself and be in control of yourself or your emotions, nothing can phase you. And I think both you and I experienced that. And both running businesses, we have challenges thrown at us every single day. But if we know how to emotionally behave without reacting, and actually learning how to respond in the best and highest way, that's when the business gets fun, and that's when the money comes as a side effect. Like you said at the beginning, money doesn't solve all the problems. It's when you allow yourself to have joy, freedom, and money on top of that. That's when it actually gets fun. Yeah. Awesome. Let me just see if there are any more, if there are any questions. Looking so forward to it. So happy for you, Ren. Congratulations. Okay, so this is pretty. Yeah, she's joining. For anyone who is catching up on a replay, if you are interested in joining us in 3 weeks, I believe, in less than 2 weeks, sorry, on the 10th and the 11th of December, this is the next cohort. We have only 4 spaces left. The groups are very intimate, as Lauren knows. It's there so that you get the full attention from me as well. So if you do wish to join, please feel free to message me. I'll gonna pop a link below this video. And thank you so much for joining, guys. Thank you, Lauren, for tuning in and sharing.
And the
So
PS
appreciate it.
everyone loves is that when you take the silent counseling with Joanna, you get to have her work on you too.
Exactly.
So that's just a benefit. You want some time with Joanna, spend 2 days with her. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right then. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.